He gave them everything, built their houses, paid school fees, and spoiled them with gifts. But one day he pretended to fall sick, and no one came. What he did next shocked not only his family, but the entire village. In a peaceful town outside Enugu lived a billionaire elder, a tall Igbo man in his late 60s, dressed in a flowing white agbada, gold glasses perched on his nose. His mansion stood tall behind him like a palace, with tiled walls and electric gates, the envy of the entire community. Every morning he sat on his polished veranda, sipping bitter leaf tea while reading the newspaper. Drivers cleaned his cars, gardeners trimmed hedges, and housemaids bustled inside. Yet, in all that noise, something was missing: family. He had 4 grown children, a round-faced banker son in Lagos, always in suit and tie, a flashy daughter who barely spoke Igbo, more focused on Instagram than tradition, and 2 twin sons in Abuja, always on business trips, who ran his companies but barely called. Despite paying their bills, buying their cars, and funding their weddings, none of them visited. Birthdays were forgotten, calls came only when they needed money. His heart, once full of pride, had grown tired and hollow. Then one morning he called his houseboy, a dark-skinned teenage boy with tribal face marks and loyalty in his eyes. "Tell my children I'm very sick," the elder said. "Tell them the doctor says my time is near." That afternoon the chief lay outside on a mat, faking weakness. He refused food, groaned loudly, and coughed as villagers passed by. Word spread like wildfire: "The rich man is dying." But his phone stayed silent. 3 days passed, not one of his children came. Only his wrinkled cousin from the next village arrived, barefoot, with dusty slippers and a bottle of herbs. He sat by the chief and prayed, tears in his tired eyes. His children sent short replies: "Daddy, resto, we'll come soon. Hope it's not serious, Shah." One even sent just a thumbs up. The chief stared at the messages with a sinking heart. Still, he said nothing. On the 5th day, the elder rose early. He bathed, wore a clean white caftan, and entered his study. There he called his lawyer, a tall, stern woman with thick glasses and a stack of legal documents. "I want to change my will," he said without emotion. "Everything to the orphanage, and give the boy who stayed the house." The lawyer blinked, then nodded. Papers were signed. Silence followed. By Saturday, the story hit the town square. "Chief has given away all his properties." The children rushed in, angry, shocked, blaming each other. But when they reached the mansion, it was empty. Inside the grand sitting room was only a single wooden stool. Carved into the seat was a short message: "Those who love you will show up when you're down, not when you're flying." They searched everywhere: his room, the garage, even the village hospital. But their father was gone. He had left no goodbye, only silence. Their hearts were filled with guilt and confusion. Weeks later, the houseboy stood proudly at the ribbon cutting of a new orphanage block. Children cheered. His new shirt was neatly ironed, and the village praised his loyalty and humility. He ran the orphanage with wisdom beyond his years. Every evening he prayed for the man who raised him. He didn't speak much about the will, but his eyes always carried the chief's story. Rumors flew across town. He traveled abroad. He moved to another village with no phones, but no one knew for sure. He had vanished, quietly, like a man satisfied. But those who saw him last said he smiled. Not the smile of a man with riches, but the peace of a man who finally saw truth with his own eyes. He gave them everything, but when he asked for love, they gave him silence. In the end, it was the one they ignored who stayed, and inherited not just his home, but his heart. He gave them his wealth, his name, his time, but they gave him silence. If your father tested your love this way, would you pass? Share your thoughts in the comments if this story moved you. Subscribe for more African stories that expose truth, loyalty, and heartbreak. Don't just watch, feel the lesson.